Here we are at FanX. Andrew Knaupp,
Velluto.
Yep. And we're excited to be telling everybody about our Pillar of Light project and how close we're getting to getting it done, and telling people about all the exciting things we like about the project. And
yeah, one thing we want you to know, this thing started many years ago. It's coming to fruition now, but the idea of working together has been, we've been toying with that for a few years. And that was the time, Andrew, that you discovered my illustrations on the Friend magazine.
Yeah, I came across them looking through an old issue of the Friend, and I was like, wow, who is this? And these are awesome. We need to, I actually wanted to get permission to put them all together into one book and print them together, and I kind of printed a sample copy, and I knew Sal was coming to a free comic book day in Orem, Utah, so I went to a store and met him and showed him a copy of all of his illustrations from the Friend in a single book, and at that point said, hey, I'd love to do a book on the first vision, Joseph Smith's first vision. And then you said your prophetic words, right?
Yeah, I said something like, you remember that better than me.
Yeah, it was something like,
if it's supposed to happen, it will
happen. Yeah, it was something like that.
And I guess it's supposed to happen because you know, we're not going to go into details as far as you know, the genesis of this thing, but there were some events, a confluency of events that led us to, you know, being able to do this. Because, you know, but my profession is drawing comic books, and you know, I have to keep really busy, and if I'm not busy, I'm not doing my job. But for a series of events, some openings in my schedule happened and made it possible to work on this project, which is very different than doing just a regular comic book. I mean, comic books are very disposable. You know, I'm a big fan of comic book. I live out of comic books. That's my living. By the same token, dealing with this kind of subject matters is a totally different ball game, because this is something that not only has to entertain, but has to inspire. Your attention, please.
Yep, they're always making announcements here at FanX, lots of fans. But Sal's storytelling ability is part of what makes him great for this project, because he's had 38 years of experience at visual storytelling.
I started when I was 1 year old.
That's right. He just celebrated his 38th birthday this year. But we wanted to do the story right. Sal had the skills and the experience and the spiritual understanding of the importance of this, and I didn't want to do it unless we could do it right, and I knew Sal was the one to do it, and his schedule opened, and here we are working on it. We're about a third of the way done, and we're letting people know about it, so if they want to contribute towards helping us finish it, they can at the GoFundMe account.
Yeah.
It's easy, gofundme.com/Pillar of Light, and we're just excited. We're enjoying it. We put Easter eggs in there, little historical things that add more value and fun to each image. Each image is just packed full of both fun art and also historical info.
Yeah, this thing, perhaps we still don't have the perception of how important this event is from the standpoint of history. Next year, I'm very sure that people will start understanding, you know, oh, it's 200 years since the first vision. This is what, how did that scholar describe this? The biggest epiphany?
Theophany.
The biggest theophany in the history of the world. And how did he justify that?
Yeah, he was saying that basically a theophany, or when someone sees God, right? Most theophanies that you come across in the scriptures or other places, there's usually only one account of it, right? You think about Moses and other accounts, there's one story, one version of the story. But this is the most well documented theophany in history. So Joseph Smith had 4 different times where he personally wrote or dictated an account of what happened in the Grove in 1820. And so we have all kinds of documentation, as well as just the historical documentation that's available of the time period, what was happening in Palmyra at that same time. We even have weather reports of what was happening in that same period of time. So lots of historical information and documentation.
And you see, up until now, the fact of having several different or slightly different versions of the account of the first vision, not only from Joseph Smith, but from other people that heard it just from Joseph Smith, you know, firsthand, has been used from by the critics to show that, you know, this is not true. This is fake, you know, it has contradictions and all of that. But if you really study it, and especially if you're able to envision it, you know, to visualize it, you will discover, and that's one of the purposes of our project, you will discover that not only this is one different facets of the same account, but having these different facets make the account richer, more relatable, and more real. And so we're really looking forward to the opportunity of showing with words and pictures, you know, how this really happens, how it really happened, and all the implications that are part of these different stories that make this account very precious, and not just historical, but from a spiritual point of view, incredible. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Incredible in an incredible way. So maybe we'll show a few pages, but you will see some of these pages already online. And in fact, you know, one of our purposes of doing this thing is to show, to have these things made available online for free. And we're thinking of having, you know, at least 4 different languages, one being English, one Italian, which is my mother language, and also Spanish and Portuguese, online, available for free. And then, you know, this is immediately. And then next year, in 2020, to celebrate the anniversary, have the printed version, which will look right about like this. It's going to have a different cover. This is just a temporary cover, but it's going to be different. I hope you're going to like it. We're enjoying it. This experience has been enriching for us. We're learning a lot of stuff from this ourselves, and you know, we were pretty well acquainted with the stories already, but you know, delving into it, it really opens so many doors of understanding that we hope will open for you as well.
Thanks. We're excited, and follow us what we're doing. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/LDSideas. Also, again, the GoFundMe is gofundme.com/Pillar of Light, and we'll keep you updated.